Part 1. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 1. Lin Su, you only paid 70% of the spiritual grain this time. This is the third time. There is no such thing as a third time. If you fail to pay the spiritual grain next time, pack up your bags and roll down the mountain. Xiun sect does not support idle people. Coming out of the spiritual grass hall, Lin Su's face was full of sorrow. Manager Lu had given him an ultimatum. If he failed to pay the spiritual grain in half a year, he would really have to leave Xiun sect. Is my immortal road really over? Maybe I should go down the mountain and seek wealth and honor in a stable life. It is said that cultivating immortals is good, but only the immortal cultivators themselves know how difficult it is to cultivate immortals, especially for a second-level cultivator like Lin Su who has average spiritual roots and no powerful background. The road to cultivating immortals can be said to be difficult. Immortal cultivators are also human beings. Unlike those ordinary mortals who think that immortal cultivators eat wind and drink dew, immortal cultivators also need to eat. Even if they have reached the foundation building stage and fasted, their demand for food is greatly reduced. Of course, what cultivators eat is not the grains of the mortal world, but grains containing spiritual energy, called spiritual grains. These spiritual grains naturally need someone to plant them, so all the major sects have low-level disciples who specialize in planting spiritual grains. Lin Su is one of the low-level disciples of Xiun sect who plants spiritual grains. Every 6 months, he needs to pay a certain amount of spiritual grains to the sect's spiritual grass hall to continue to stay in the sect. However, basically speaking, it is difficult for low-level disciples like Lin Su to pay the full amount of spiritual grains. If he really pays the full amount, there will not be much left. So in the past year and a half, Lin Su has kept 30% of the spiritual grains he harvested and secretly exchanged them for spiritual stones for cultivation. Even so, it is still a drop in the bucket, and his cultivation progress is very slow. Lin Su returned to his residence with a lot on his mind. He saw Zhang Minbo from next door walking out with a bag on his back. Low-level disciples like Lin Su lived in a small collective room, one for each person. Zhang Minbo lived next door to Lin Su. The two had a good relationship. Seeing Zhang Minbo like this, Lin Su's heart suddenly skipped a beat. Minbo, are you going down the mountain? Yeah, I only harvested 60% of the spiritual grains this time, so I definitely can't hand them in. Rather than being driven down the mountain, I might as well pack up and leave first. Zhang Minbo's smile was a little bitter, but more of a relief. I've thought about it. After all, I was once a disciple of Xiun section. It's no problem to seek glory after going down the mountain. He handed Lin Su the jade token representing his spiritual field. Lin Su, it's useless for me to bring these spiritual grains down the mountain, so I'll leave them all to you. After you harvest them yourself, help me return the jade token to the sect. After this farewell, I don't know when we can see each other again. Good brother, take care. After Zhang Minbo left, Lin Su felt even heavier. After harvesting the spiritual grains left by Zhang Minbo and returning the jade token to the sect, Lin Su came to the cliff at the back of the mountain. He would come here every time he was in a bad mood. Usually, few people come here, and it is a good place to calm down. With Zhang Minbo's 60% of the spiritual valley, I can pay the full amount within the next year. But what about after a year? Am I going to give up and go down the mountain like him? Throwing a few stones at the bottom of the cliff, Lin Su lay down on the edge of the cliff, staring at the sky blankly. His mind was confused, as if he was thinking about something, but also as if he was thinking about nothing. I didn't expect to see a meteor in broad daylight, it's so rare. Hey, why do I feel like it's flying towards me? Not good. It was unknown how long it had been, but a green light suddenly streaked across the sky and flew towards the direction of Xiun section. Lin Su didn't care much at first, but gradually felt something was wrong. Why did this meteor fly straight towards him? Lin Su reacted and wanted to get up and run away, but it was too late. With a bang, the green light hit his Dantian. Lin Su only felt a sharp pain in his Dantian, and he knew nothing. When he woke up again, it was already noon the next day. The first thing Lin Su did when he woke up was to check his body. He had no missing arms or legs, and there was no damage to his body. His cultivation was still at the second level of chi refining, as if everything that happened yesterday was just an illusion. Did I fall asleep yesterday? Was the meteor a dream? Looking at the surrounding scenery, there was no change. It didn't look like he was hit by a meteor. Lin Su shook his head and left the cliff. Whether it was a dream or an illusion, it was always Lin Su's greatest advantage to not think about things that he couldn't figure out for the time being. He still had to plant spiritual grains in exchange for spiritual stones for cultivation. Coming to the Lingtian Valley where low-level disciples planted spiritual grains, 3 low-level disciples who also planted spiritual grains came from afar. The leader was 17 or 18 years old, tall and strong, named Xianxia, with a cultivation of the 4th level of chi refining. He was the best among Lin Su's spiritual grain growers. The reason is simple. He has a cousin who is the assistant manager of Lingtian. He provides the skills and spiritual stones. He only needs to pay 50% of the spiritual grain. He has more cultivation resources and time than ordinary low-level disciples, so his cultivation is naturally higher. Hey, isn't this Lin Su? What's up? You haven't come down the mountain yet? I thought you couldn't hold on like Zhang Minbo and went down the mountain, ha ha ha. Lin Su was already used to Xianxia's behavior of being a villain who had achieved success. He didn't say anything when he heard it, and walked straight to his spiritual field. Behind him, he heard the 2 followers of Xianxia cursing, Lin Su, senior brother Huang is talking to you, what's your reaction? It's too outrageous. Senior brother Huang, let's not argue with this kid, it's lowering our status. 2 lackeys, what the hell? Lin Su spat fiercely in his heart and walked faster. He didn't have the time or energy to argue with Xianxia and others. When he came to his spiritual field, Lin Su took out the jade token and opened the restriction of the spiritual field and entered it. He was about to take out the spiritual seeds and start sowing, but his face suddenly changed. Where is my storage bag? Why is my storage bag gone? After turning his body up and down, there was no trace of the storage bag at all. Lin Su was anxious and ran back along the way he came without saying a word. No, nowhere. It's over, it's really over now. After searching the road from the cliff to the spiritual field several times, he found nothing. Lin Su felt his heart sank and returned to the spiritual field dejectedly. What should I do? The storage bag is gone. Without the spiritual seeds, what can I use to plant the spiritual grains? I will definitely not be able to pay the spiritual grains next time. The storage bag contained the spiritual seeds that Lin Su had just received from the spiritual herb hall, as well as the 60% spiritual grains that Zhang Minbo left for Lin Su, 2 low-grade spiritual stones that Lin Su saved for the spiritual grains, and a Peyuan grass that can speed up the spiritual energy cultivation. All of them were gone at once. If only those spiritual grains could appear in front of me now. Shua. As soon as this thought came to mind, a green light appeared in Lin Su's Dantian, and then a pile of spiritual grains suddenly appeared in front of him. It was the 60% spiritual grains that Zhang Minbo left for Lin Su. What's going on? Lin Su was dumbfounded. His storage bag was gone. How did these spiritual grains appear? Wait. When the Spirit Valley appeared just now, a green light flashed in his Dantian, could it be? Lin Su hurriedly sank his consciousness into his Dantian, and was immediately stunned by the scene in front of him. Spiritual consciousness has always been an invisible thing, but at this moment, Lin Su's consciousness showed a form on a piece of land 10 feet square. This piece of land was covered by a layer of light green light, and outside was a gray world. The boundary could not be seen at a glance. Green lightning flashed continuously in it, and the land where Lin Su's consciousness was located turned out to be a spiritual field. In the middle of the spiritual field, a green seedling grew, and strange waves spread from the seedling. Lin Su didn't know what kind of seedling it was. He had never seen this kind of plant, but he instinctively felt that this green seedling was definitely not an ordinary product. Is this my Dantian? Although Dantian has the word field in it, no one's Dantian really has a spiritual field. Lin Su remembered the meteor that hit his Dantian yesterday. The changes in his Dantian must be related to it. Walking around the spiritual field, Lin Su found that all the spiritual seeds he brought from the spiritual herb hall had been planted in the spiritual field, occupying most of the spiritual field, and these spiritual seeds had already sprouted. Normally, it would take more than half a month for the spiritual seeds to germinate, even if the spirit rain technique was used to perfection, and now only 1 day has passed. Not only that, even his only Pewen grass has been planted in the spiritual field. It seems that the quality has been greatly improved. In a pit next to the spiritual field are Lin Su's only 2 low-grade spiritual stones, but now they have become 2 pieces of waste stone, without any spiritual energy. Could it be that this spiritual field can absorb the spiritual energy in the spiritual stone to speed up the maturity of the spiritual medicine and improve the grade? An almost unbelievable idea suddenly flashed through Lin Su's mind. His heart began to beat wildly. An uncontrollable ecstasy spread from the bottom of his heart. He had a feeling that he seemed to have obtained a great opportunity. Withdrawing his consciousness from his Dantian, Lin Su checked the spiritual grains piled in front of him. Sure enough, the quality of these spiritual grains was a whole level higher than when Lin Su harvested them yesterday, directly from low-grade spiritual grains to medium-grade spiritual grains. Collect. With a thought, the spiritual grains in front of him disappeared, turned into a green light and were collected into Lin Su's Dantian, piling up at the edge of the spiritual field. Oh my God, I really made it this time. Haha. Lin Su laughed up to the sky. Such a magical spiritual field not only has the function of storing things, but also can speed up the maturity of spiritual herbs and improve the grade. This is even more powerful than the legendary immortal weapon. Maybe there are some other functions that he has not yet discovered. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 2. After the ecstasy, Lin Su slowly calmed down. This change in his Dantian was a great opportunity, but it also represented a huge risk. It is said that ordinary people are not guilty, but they are guilty of carrying treasures. In the world of immortality, there are many people who are killed because of carrying valuable treasures. If the change in his Dantian is leaked, then the best outcome for him may be to become one of those immortals. The humanoid animals kept in captivity by the great powers will never see the light of day. No, you must keep this secret deep in your heart forever and never let it out. Lin Su secretly warned, if this kind of thing is not handled well, it will be a huge disaster. We must find a way to cover it up. With the help of the spiritual field in the Dantian, handing over the spiritual valley is no longer a problem, but the spiritual field of the sect cannot be left empty, otherwise Lin Su will not be able to explain the source of the spiritual valley, which will inevitably arouse suspicion. He took some grains from the spiritual valley in the Dantian and planted them in the sect's spiritual field as seeds. Lin Su performed the spiritual rain technique. It was surprisingly smooth, without any sense of blockage. He was surprised in his heart. I cast a few more low-level spells and found that as long as they were water or wood spells, I could cast them easily. Writing this, I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. It seems that not only my Dantian has mutated, but also my spiritual roots have been transformed into water and wood spiritual roots. Although the dual spiritual roots of water and wood are relatively weak in combat effectiveness among the dual spiritual roots, they are much stronger than Lin Su's original useless spiritual roots. After irrigating the Lingtian he was responsible for, Lin Su walked out of the Lingtian Valley, planning to go back to his cabin to study his Dantian. Lindsay, I haven't seen you in the past few days. I thought you had given up on cultivating immortals. I heard that there is a trade fair for low-level immortal cultivators at the foot of the mountain today. Do you want to go and see it together? Returning to the residence of the low-level disciples during the Qi training period, Lin Su met Zhang Yunfan, another one of his few friends in the Ziyun section. This boy was completely opposite to the previous Lin Su. He was a genius with a single spiritual root. As a monk, Zhang Yunfan is now at the 5th level of the Qi training stage, but he has no arrogance at all. He is on the right path with Lin Su. Lin Su can persist until now thanks to Zhang Yunfan's help several times. How many days? Didn't we just meet yesterday? Lin Su was stunned, but saw Zhang Yunfan looking at him with contempt. Have you become stupid because of your practice? The last time we met was 5 days ago. What, yesterday? 5 days ago? Lin Su was shocked. He was not unconscious for 1 day, but for 5 whole days? So the growth rate of the spiritual field in my Dantian can be increased 3 times instead of 10 times. No, it should be related to the spiritual energy consumed. Lin Su thought about the 2 low-grade spiritual stones that were consumed. If they were replaced by 2 medium-grade spiritual stones, or more low-grade spiritual stones, the speed should be improved again, right? What are you thinking about? You kid, are you going or not? Just tell me. Zhang Yunfan on the side saw Lin Su in a daze and couldn't help but pat him. I won't go. I don't have a single low-grade spiritual stone in my pocket right now. Even if I fancy something good, I can't afford it. His family knows his own affairs. Although Lin Su now has a magical Dantian, except for Ling, there is only 1 middle-grade Pewen grass in his body. This bag is cleaner than his face. What should he use to participate in the trade fair? It's just a trade fair for low-level immortal cultivators. You don't need many spiritual stones. I'll just lend them to you at the worst. Okay, I'll go. If it were in the past, Lin Su would definitely refuse because he knew that he had no spirit stones to return to Zhang Yunfan, but now that he has this wonderful Dantian, it is only a matter of time to earn the spirit stones. There is nothing to worry about. Lin Su also wants to trade. You'll get some insights, and maybe you'll find something useful. You agreed? Then without further delay, let's go. Wait, I'll go back and prepare first. What are you getting ready for? Get ready. Are you ready to transform the spirit stone? Stop talking nonsense and leave quickly. Zhang Yunfan dragged Lin Su outside the Ziyun section. Not long after, the two came to the Ziyun town market. At the foot of the Ziyun section at this moment, many low-level immortal cultivators had gathered in the Ziyun town market. Most of them are casual cultivators below the foundation building stage. Tongmei powder, the best spiritual elixir for monks in the Qi refining stage. Pewen grass, 7-star grass, various low-level spiritual grasses, the best will be given in large quantities. In the market, there will be 1 or 2 shouts from time to time, but most cultivators just set up a stall, place the things they want to sell in front of them, and sit quietly waiting for people who know the goods to find them for themselves. Come to your door. There seems to be nothing good. As a talented monk with a single spiritual root, Zhang Yunfan naturally doesn't have a high regard for these casual cultivators. Unlike Lin Su, Zhang Yunfan has the training resources provided by the sect, including pills and spiritual stones. For example, you have seen too many good things. Of course you are not rare, but I am so greedy. Just buy it if you're greedy. If you like something, just tell me. I have the spiritual stone right here. Lin Su smiled and shook his head when he heard this. It was not his style to be generous to others. Unless he encountered something particularly tempting, he would not reach out to Zhang Yunfan. Someone actually purchased Ling Wu. Looking at his attire, he doesn't look like someone from an immortal sect, but rather like a child of a noble family. After walking forward for a while, Lin Su was a little surprised when he noticed a stall on the left front with a sign saying "Buy Ling Gu at a high price." That's the foundation of the Feng family in Xiun town. Among these aristocratic family disciples, even those who practice martial arts have been eating spiritual grains since childhood, and their foundation is much better than that of ordinary people. What, Lin Su, are you interested? I remember that you didn't pay enough spiritual grains to the sect. Minbo left 60% of his spiritual grains to me before he went down the mountain. As they talked, the two had already arrived in front of the stall. Lin Su pointed to the sign and asked the middle-aged man who was setting up the stall, "My fellow Taoist, what price do you charge for this Ling Gu?" "It depends on the quality of the spiritual grain. A piece of low-grade spiritual grain costs 1,000 kilograms of low-grade spiritual stones, and a piece of medium-grade spiritual grain costs 300 kilograms of low-grade spiritual stones." The price is indeed higher than that of the section. Lin Su picked up an empty storage bag on the stall, and a green light flashed across his hand, and put the 60% of the medium-grade spiritual grain into it. "How much are these spiritual grains worth?" "More than 3,000 kilograms of medium-grade spiritual grains, a lot." The middle-aged man took the storage bag and scanned it with his spiritual sense. After taking a look at Lin Su, he handed over 11 low-grade spiritual stones. "I'll count it as 11 low-grade spiritual stones for you. If you have extra spiritual grains in the future, you can come to me directly. The price is negotiable." Putting the spiritual stones into his Dantian, Lin Su nodded and turned to walk forward. Zhang Yunfan on the side blinked at him. "Minbo, that kid, should not be able to grow such a good thing as medium-grade spiritual grains. You are not telling the truth." With a faint smile, Lin Su did not explain much, and Zhang Yunfan did not ask any more questions. Who doesn't have some secrets? After a round of shopping, Lin Su spent 3 low-grade spiritual stones to buy 2 low-grade Peyuan grass. When he was about to leave, his eyes inadvertently swept across a stall. Suddenly, he felt that the green seedlings in his Dantian were shaking rapidly, reacting to a jade slip on the stall. Something that can make the green seedlings react is definitely not simple. Lin Su turned around and walked to the stall, seemingly picking up the jade slip to check it out unintentionally. Dian Shenju fragments. The name is very domineering, but it is a pity that it is a fragment. According to the records in the jade slip, this Dian Shenju can split the soul, and can divide up to 49 souls. This is the so-called Dian number of 50, and its use is 49. However, that is the effect of the complete Dian Shenju, and the jade slip only records the fragments, only the part that was divided into 2 at the beginning. This is the same as the effect of other spells that split the consciousness, and the process is much more painful. Strange, how could the green seedling react to such a useless spell? Although he was a little confused, Lin Su still spent 2 low-grade spirit stones to buy the jade slip. This move puzzled Zhang Yunfan. "Lin Su, such a useless fragment is of no value at all. If you want the method of splitting the consciousness, I have it here." "Why waste spirit stones?" "Nothing, I just want to study it out of curiosity." Lin Su said lightly, looked around, and there was nothing that could make the mysterious seedling in his body react. He greeted Zhang Yunfan, who was a little bored, and left the market to return to Xiun sect. Boom! Boom boom boom! Just as the two walked to the foot of Xiun sect, dozens of sword lights suddenly rushed in the sky in the distance, and then overwhelming spells smashed towards Xiun section. The protective formation only lasted less than an incense stick of time before it was broken. The mountain where Xiun sect was located was broken by the lazy waste, and countless falling rocks roared and fell towards the foot of the mountain. "Not good, hurry up." Lin Su and his lover were horrified, their faces turned pale instantly. They turned around and ran as fast as they could, Before they ran 100 feet away, a huge rock had already hit their heads with the force of thunder. Golden Bell Talisman. Solid Body Talisman. Stone Skin Technique. Rattan Armor Technique. Zhang Yunfan hurriedly took out a handful of talismans and threw them out, turning them into several rays of light to wrap himself and Lin Su's lover in them. Regardless of whether they were proficient or not, they kept throwing defensive spells at themselves. Before all the spells were used, the huge rock had already hit the two of them hard, and all the talismans and spell defenses collapsed instantly. Lin Su only felt a buzzing in his head and lost consciousness instantly. Just when the two were about to be squeezed into meat patties by the huge force, the green seedlings in Lin Su's spiritual field released a burst of green light to protect their bodies. Boom! With a loud bang, Lin Su and his lover were smashed into the ground by the huge rock. I'm still alive, ah! 3 days later, Lin Su woke up from his coma and found himself in a farmyard. He wanted to get up but found that he felt a sharp pain all over his body. Are you awake? Don't move. 80% of your bones are broken. If you move around, you will die. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 3. Hearing Lin Su's screams, a 15 or 16-year-old farm girl pushed the door open and walked in, holding Lin Su anxiously. Rightward arrow. Is 80% of my bones broken? Holding back the pain, Lin Su tried to mobilize his true energy to check his body. Sure enough, except for his skull, there was basically no good bone in his body. Fortunately, his meridians were not damaged and his true energy could flow smoothly, which was a blessing in disguise. Girl, why am I here? Did you save me? How is my friend? Is he okay? Lin Su recalled that the Ziyun sect was attacked by unknown forces, the mountain was broken, and he and Zhang Yunfan were hit by a falling boulder. He thought he was dead, but he didn't expect to be able to open his eyes again. It was a blessing. I dug you back. You are really lucky. You are not dead even though you were pressed by such a big rock. Your friend is not as lucky as you. The farm girl's words scared Lin Su. What happened to him? Dead. He is not dead, but it is much more serious than yours. There is not a piece of good meat on his body. His internal organs are all displaced. With such a serious injury, he should have died long ago, but the strange thing is that it seems that there is a strange power protecting his heart. I don't know when he will wake up. Girl, do you know medical skills? I learned some from my grandfather when I was a child. Okay, you just woke up, don't talk too much, and have a good rest. The farm girl left, and Lin Su fell into deep thought. From the girl's tone, Zhang Yunfan's injury was much more serious than his, but they were both hit by the boulder at the same time. Zhang Yunfan's cultivation was higher than his, and his defense ability was much stronger than his. Why was he injured more seriously? By the way, when the boulder was approaching, the cyan seedling in the body seemed to emit a ball of green light. Could it be because of this? Lin Su sank his consciousness into the Dantian, and his body appeared in the spiritual field, looking at the cyan seedling. Sure enough, the size of the cyan seedling shrank a lot, and the color was a little dim, looking like it was seriously injured. At the same time, a series of green rays full of vitality were constantly overflowing from the cyan seedling, repairing Lin Su's injured body. It was this mysterious seedling that saved me. Lin Su sighed secretly, and glanced at the spiritual field beside him. He saw that the fragment of the jade slip he bought at the trade fair was also planted in the spiritual field, and in the groove where the spiritual stones were placed, the remaining 6 low-grade spiritual stones had become waste stones, and the 2 low-grade spiritual stones that had exhausted the spiritual energy at the beginning could not even see their shadows. The content of this jade slip fragment has increased. Originally, the fragment of Dian Shenju recorded in the jade slip only had the part of dividing the consciousness into two parts, but now it has increased a little, and the content of dividing two into four parts has appeared, which made Lin Su feel ecstatic. This magical spiritual field can actually complete the missing parts of the technique. This time I made a profit, a huge profit. No wonder the green seedlings reacted to this useless jade slip fragment before. It turns out that there is such a function. If I can complete this fragment and get the complete version of Dian Shenju. An uncontrollable heat flashed in Lin Su's eyes, and he immediately shook his head and smiled bitterly. It's not that easy to complete the fragment of Dian Shenju. 6 low-grade spirit stones can only replenish less than 1% of the content. To complete the missing parts of the fragment, the spirit stones needed are simply an unattainable number for Lin Su now. Moreover, the secrets of this technique are more precious as they progress. Who knows whether the number of spirit stones required for the later parts will increase. With 7 parts of excitement and 3 parts of melancholy, Lin Su carefully read the existing part of the Dian Shenju fragment. Anyway, he has nothing to do now, and the green seedlings will take care of the recovery of his injuries. Lin Su decided to split his consciousness in two first. The consciousness is originally an invisible thing. If you want to split the consciousness, you must first condense it into a shape. This is the most critical point for Lin Su. In the mysterious space of Dantian, his consciousness has already automatically condensed into a human form. A trace of consciousness power split from Lin Su's human-shaped consciousness, and slowly condensed into a light green translucent knife, which is the consciousness-splitting blade formed according to the Dian Shenju method. As soon as the divine consciousness-splitting blade was formed, Lin Su's consciousness felt a strong and sharp aura, and he trembled involuntarily, with a hint of fear in his heart. I feel like I'm on edge before I even start to split my consciousness. No wonder the first sentence of the Dian Shenju is if you don't have extraordinary endurance, don't learn this technique. After taking a deep breath, Lin Su controlled the divine consciousness splitting blade and slashed at the waist of the humanoid consciousness. Suddenly, an unbearable pain came, and he howled and fell into the spiritual field. The cut lower half of his body quickly disappeared, while the upper half of his body slowly stretched out and reformed a complete human form, but it seemed much more illusory. At the same time, Lin Su regained his perception of the outside world, but his perception of the Dantian in his body was not disconnected. It felt like he had become two relatively independent and interconnected selves in an instant. However, this feeling was not very pleasant at the moment, because Lin Su felt the double pain in his soul and body in an instant. His face was pale and bloodless, and big drops of sweat soaked the bedding under him. I should have waited until the injury healed before dividing the consciousness. Finally, the pain slowly subsided, and Lin Su finally took a breath. Just now, he almost thought he couldn't stand it anymore. His whole body was spasming with pain, but he couldn't move. No wonder it is recorded in Dian divine art that each divided divine consciousness must grow to the size of the original divine consciousness before the next stage of division can be carried out. Such a painful process, if the divine consciousness is not strong enough, it will not be possible at all. If you can't survive it, your consciousness will inevitably collapse. The reason why Dian divine technique is so powerful is that it can nourish the divided consciousness, allowing it to grow to be more powerful than the original consciousness. What Lin Su has to do now is to slowly run the Dian divine art to warm up and strengthen his two consciousnesses, while waiting for the injuries all over his body to slowly heal. Half a month later, with the help of the green seedlings, Lin Su's injuries healed at an alarming speed, which surprised the farm girl named Xianxia. In the past half-month, Lin Su also learned about his situation from Xianxia. The Xiun sect was wiped out, and the mountains where the sect was located were leveled. No one in the sect escaped except the disciples who were not in the sect at the time. The one who took action was the Sword God sect, one of the 3 major sections. I heard that the sect was destroyed because an elder of the Xiun sect injured an inner disciple of the Sword God sect. This reason sounds a bit ridiculous, but this is the case in the world of immortality. The law of the jungle is almost cruel. Small sects like Xiun sect are unattainable in the eyes of ordinary mortals and so-called aristocratic families, but in the face of behemoths like the Sword God sect, they are simply unattainable. If it's not enough, it can be destroyed by flipping your hand. The world of immortality cultivators did not react much to the behavior of the Sword God section. The destruction of small sects like Xiun sect was a common occurrence in the world of immortality cultivators, but for Lin Su, it was almost like a bolt from the blue. Because this means that from this moment on, he has changed from a disciple of the immortal sect to a casual cultivator, and he is still a small casual cultivator with low strength. I originally thought that having obtained the wonderful Dantian space, my future path to immortality would be smooth. I could rely on the big tree of Xiun sect, use the magical properties of the spiritual field in my body to earn cultivation resources, and smoothly build foundations and form elixirs. Unexpectedly, the tree fell down before I could lean on it. Now that he had suddenly become a casual cultivator, Lin Su felt a little empty in his heart, which was quite unpleasant. He really didn't have any good ideas about how to go from now on. There is another more important thing. Zhang Yunfan woke up. Lin Su also figured out the mysterious power Xiao said protecting his heart. It was the green light emitted by the cyan seedlings in his body. However, Zhang Yunfan was seriously injured. Although his life was saved, it was hard to say whether it would affect his cultivation of immortality. Zhang Yunfan was Lin Su's good brother, and now they were suffering from the same disease. Lin Su had to help Zhang Yunfan recover from his injuries. The green seedlings in Lin Su's body could help, but it required the consumption of spiritual stones. Looks like I have to find a way to earn spiritual stones. Lin Su now only has 3 middle-grade cultivating herbs in his hand. He originally planned to use them himself, but now it seems that he can only use them to exchange for spiritual stones. Xiun town was also affected by the catastrophe of the Xiun section. It would be impossible to hold a trade fair in the short term. Lin Su could only find another place. There is Flowing Cloud Valley 100 miles away from here. I heard it is a place where casual cultivators exchange and buy cultivation resources. You can go there to try your luck. Xiao had no spiritual roots and was not an immortal cultivator, but he knew a lot about the world of immortality, which surprised Lin Su. Entrusting Zhang Yunfan to Xiao's care, Lin Su bought a good horse and rushed towards the starry night in Liaoyun Valley. 2 days later, Lin Su came to the outside of Liaoyun Valley. This was indeed a fixed trading place for casual cultivators, but what made Lin Su difficult was that entering it actually required delivery of a low-grade spiritual stone. Two fellow Taoists, I came all the way here just to exchange for the spiritual stones. Can you register first and pay later when I leave the valley? Lin Su's body is now clean except for 3 mid-grade cultivating yuan grass. He couldn't find half a spirit stone, so he could only shamelessly apologize to the 2 guards on the 3rd floor of the Qi training stage at the entrance of the valley. Are you kidding me? There is no trade fair without even a piece of spiritual stone. Get out of here, Liaoyun Valley is not a place for a poor guy like you. One of the guards glared, waved his hand in disgust and tried to drive Lin Su away. A guy who looks down on others. Lin Su cursed secretly in his heart, but he had no choice but to say that a penny can defeat a hero. Today he really felt it. I paid for his spiritual stone. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 4. Lin Su looked back and saw 3 young monks in lavender clothes, 2 men and 1 woman, walking over. There was a small golden sword embroidered on the hem of their clothes. It's just a low-grade spirit stone. Why do you embarrass him? I'll pay for his spirit stone. The one who spoke was the woman among the 3. She was in the early stage of foundation building. There was a proud look on her beautiful face. She flicked her finger and 4 low-grade spirit stones flew into the hands of the guard. Then she walked into Liuyun Valley without stopping. When she passed by Lin Su, her eyes stayed on him for a moment. Boy, you are lucky. There is a senior from the Sword God sect to help you pay for the Spirit Stone. Go in. The guard smiled and bowed as he watched the three people enter the valley. He turned his head and looked at Lin Su. His smile disappeared instantly and he waved his hand impatiently. People from the Sword God sect, how could they appear here? With some doubts, Lin Su stepped into Liuyun Valley without even looking at the guards. He had no good feelings towards these snobs. Although Liuyun Valley is a trading place for casual cultivators, it still has strict regional divisions. The Qi training period, foundation building period and Dan formation period all have their own trading places. As for the nascent soul period, how could an old monster of that level come to such a place? According to the sign, Lin Su came to the trading market for Qi training cultivators. The middle grade Pewen grass is still very popular. After a while, Lin Su sold all of it and earned 35 low-grade spirit stones. The huge price difference made Lin Su's mind active. For the same spirit grass, the price difference between low-grade and medium grade is nearly 10 times. Take this Pewen grass for example. The low-grade Pewen grass costs 1 to 2 low-grade spirit stones, and the medium-grade Pewen grass costs at least 10 low-grade spirit stones. It only costs 2 low-grade spirit stones to upgrade a low-grade Pewen grass to a medium-grade Pewen grass. Even a fool can calculate the profit clearly. After spending 10 low-grade spirit stones to buy 7 low-grade Pewen grasses, Lin Su thought about it and spent 2 low-grade spirit stones to buy a low-level storage bag and put 5 low-grade spirit stones in it. Although the wonderful spirit field in his Dantian has a storage function, the spirit stones will be consumed as soon as they are put in. It is not possible not to keep some for backup, so as to avoid the embarrassing situation of not being able to pay the entrance fee like today. The goal has been achieved. Lin Su did not stay in Liuyun Valley for long. He went straight back to Xiao's house to heal Zhang Yunfan. After that, he came to Liuyun Valley every few days, sold the middle-grade Pewen grass, and bought low-grade Pewen grass. Half a year later, under the magical healing ability of the green seedlings, Zhang Yunfan was completely healed, and his cultivation level actually soared to the 7th level of Qi training, which made Lin Su sigh that God was blind. He practiced so hard, and with the help of the mysterious Dantian, he has only reached the 4th level of the Qi training stage. Zhang Yunfan did nothing and just lay there for half a year, but his cultivation progressed much faster than him. It's really annoying to compare yourself to others. A genius cultivator with a single spiritual root is really not comparable to ordinary people. Brother, I don't need to thank you for your kindness. I will remember it in my heart. Zhang Yunfan is a natural optimist. He doesn't care too much about the destruction of the Ziyun sect and the fact that he and Lin Su have become independent cultivators. According to his thinking, if the sect is gone, it's gone. Just find a new one. However, in view of the experience of the Ziyun sect, it is safer to join a large section. It's enough to encounter such a thing as a fire in the city gate and the fish in the pond. If it happens again, I'm afraid my life will be in danger. Yunfan, which sect do you think we should go to? Lin Su's current spiritual root attribute is a dual spiritual root of water and wood. Although it is not as good as Lin Su's single golden spiritual root, it is a world of difference compared to the original mixed spiritual root. If he joins the immortal sect with such spiritual root talent, he still has a certain degree of confidence. Of course it is the Sword God section. It just wiped out the Purple Cloud sect with a flip of the hand. How domineering! There is nothing to be afraid of in the future if you follow such a sect. Zhang Yunfan's proposal made Lin Su frown. Sword God sect? We are disciples of the Purple Cloud section. We won't be recognized, right? You think too much. The two of us are just low-level disciples of the Purple Cloud section who will recognize us. You don't have any sense of belonging to the Purple Cloud sect, do you? That's not the case. Okay, I'll listen to you and join the Sword God sect. The sense of belonging to the sect belongs to those elders and high-level inner disciples. The resources that low-level disciples like Lin Su can get from the Purple Cloud sect are very limited, so naturally there is no sense of belonging. They said they wanted to join the Sword God sect, but the Sword God sect is one of the 3 major sects in the world of immortal cultivation, and not everyone can enter. Lin Su and his partner decided to try their luck in Wangtian Immortal City. After forcibly leaving some gold, silver, and jewelry to Xiao as a reward for saving his life, Lin Su and his partner rushed to Wangtian Immortal City. There is a difference between immortals and mortals. Some people are destined to be meteors in life. Although they are gorgeous, they are short-lived, just like Xiao. Wangtian Immortal City is located in the Qianjiao Empire 100,000 miles away. It is a holy city for martial artists and low-level immortal cultivators who are interested in immortality. The 5 major immortal sects, including the Sword God sect, hold a tower rushing competition in Wangtian Immortal City every 5 years, and select the top 10 to be admitted into the sect. Stop, this is an important place in the Immortal City, and ordinary people are not allowed to enter. It is impossible to fly with a sword unless you are in the foundation building stage. Lin Su and his partner can only ride horses to travel. 2 months later, they finally arrived outside Wangtian Immortal City, but were stopped by the guards. My fellow Taoist, we are not ordinary people, please give us some help. In order to cover up the condition of his Dantian, Lin Su specially spent 20 yuan of low-grade spiritual stones in Liaoyuan Valley to buy a method to conceal his aura. It was not a very advanced method, but the cultivation level was not much different. There is no problem in concealing one's own aura. Wangtian Xianxia's guards are only at the 6th level of qi refining stage, so they were unable to see their cultivation for the moment. It turns out they are 2 fellow Taoists. I'm sorry. You can enter after paying 2 low-grade spiritual stones and receiving a jade identity card. Seeing Lin Su and the 2 releasing their auras, the guard put on a smile and returned the salute. Lin Su has earned a lot of spiritual stones in the past 6 months. Now he has at least 100 low-grade spiritual stones in his storage bag. The entry fee is naturally nothing. After handing over the spirit stone and registering, the 2 of them each received an identity jade plaque and entered the watching celestial city. It is indeed the fairy city where the 5 great immortal sects choose their disciples. It is much more impressive than the Xiun section. I really don't know what the Sword God sect will look like. The streets in Wangtian Immortal City are all paved with demon-breaking sapphire, which is extremely strong and cannot be damaged at all by spell attacks below the intermediate level. Lin Su and the 2 could see that the buildings on both sides of the street were also blessed with various formations. From time to time, patrols composed of immortal cultivators passed by on the street, and the leader definitely had the cultivation level of the foundation building stage. The spiritual root value test allows you to understand your own spiritual root attributes and potential. You 2 guys are new to this Wangtian Fairy City. Do you want to test it? All you need is a low-grade spiritual stone, which is very cost-effective. Just as Lin Su and the 2 were looking around, an old man who looked like an immortal came close to Lin Su and the 2. Lin Su glanced at the old man. He was at the 1st level of qi refining stage, which was considered to be the lowest in the Wangtian Immortal City. However, his appearance was pretty good. He probably deceived the new warriors who had just arrived in the Immortal City, probably himself. The way the 2 of them were looking around just now was noticed by him, and they must have been regarded as rookies. But Lin Su knew what the spiritual root value he was talking about and the spiritual root attribute. Could it be that it could be measured? He hadn't heard of it when he was in Xiun sect. Lin Su asked the question in his heart, and at the same time he and Zhang Yunfan released their own aura. The old man was suddenly startled and broke into a cold sweat. He thought that Lin Su and the 2 were warriors who had not cultivated spiritual consciousness. Unexpectedly, a 4th level Qi refining stage, the other one has actually reached the 7th level of Qi refining stage, where he can deceive the target. The two fellow Taoists must have come from afar. This spiritual root value test is a spell developed by the 5 immortal sects to measure the potential of spiritual roots. No matter how many spiritual root attributes there are, the total value is only 100 at most. The fewer the attributes, the higher the value. The higher it is, the stronger the spiritual root potential is. The old man said carefully with a smile on his face. This is interesting, then you can test it for us. Lin Su came to be interested. It was worthy of being one of the 5 great immortal sections compared with a third-rate small sect like Xiun sect. It was indeed quite different. Yes, yes, it is my honor to serve these two fellow Taoists. The old man nodded repeatedly, took out a piece of jade, and inserted a magic formula into it. Fellow Taoist, please put your hand on this jade. Lin Su followed the instructions and placed his palm on the jade. After a moment, the surface of the jade was divided into 3 colors, green, black, and purple, and 3 numbers appeared at the same time, 40, 40, and 20. Full spiritual root value. The old man's eyes suddenly widened and he looked at Lin Su in disbelief. He had been in Wangtian Fairy City for more than 30 years and had never seen anyone with full spiritual roots. It's just a pity that Lin Su has the spiritual roots of the 3 systems of water, wood, and thunder, so the spiritual root values are divided thinly. If all the spiritual root values are concentrated in the same system, that would be really terrible. What's wrong? There's something wrong with my spiritual root value. Lin Su looked at the old man's ghostly expression and asked strangely. No problem, of course no problem. You have the spiritual roots of the 3 elements of water, wood, and thunder. The water and wood elements both have a spiritual root value of 40. The thunder element has a spiritual root value of 20, but it is a rare sight to have full spiritual root values. Full spiritual root value, sounds good. I actually still have lightning spiritual roots. I always thought I had water and wood spiritual roots. Lei Lingan is a mutated spiritual root, which is extremely rare. Although the spiritual root value is reduced, it does more harm than good to Lin Su, not to mention that he still has full spiritual root value. Xiran didn't know what the full spiritual root value meant, but looking at the old man's expression, he knew it was not simple. Lin Su couldn't help but feel a little proud. It's my turn, give me a test. Zhang Yunfan couldn't hold himself back anymore. He knew that he had a single golden spiritual root, but he didn't know what his spiritual root value was. The old man injected a magic formula into the jade again, and asked Zhang Yunfan to put his palm on it. The jade suddenly emitted a burst of bright golden light, and a large number appeared on the surface of the jade, 92. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 5. Monk Tianligan. The old man exclaimed in a low voice, then hurriedly covered his mouth, and looked around a little guiltily. He was relieved when he saw that no one had attracted attention. What's wrong? Is there any problem? Zhang Yunfan was a little confused. No problem. You have a single golden spiritual root, and your spiritual root is worth 92. Fellow Taoist fellows, I have something to do, so I'll leave now. The old man shouted haha and ran away without even bothering to pay for a low-grade spiritual stone. Maybe he didn't dare to open his mouth. Yunfan, what kind of Tianligan did the old man say you had just now? What is Tianligan? You'll find out if you ask around. The two of them asked someone to inquire, and found out that this was really not a secret in Wangtiangxian City. The so-called Tianling root refers to a single spiritual root with a spiritual root value of more than 80. As a monk with a spiritual root, his cultivation speed is far faster than that of ordinary people. Especially a monk with a spiritual root value of over 90, there is no bottleneck in cultivation at all, and he can be said to be the darling of God. Of course, Lin Su and the two did not find out about this, and not many people in Wangtianxian city knew about it. The old Taoist priest who had tested Lin Su and the two before happened to be one of them. This is why he was in a hurry reason for leaving. For a Tianligan monk like Zhang Yunfan whose spiritual root value exceeds 90, the 5 immortal sects are flocking to him. As long as the old Taoist priest reveals the news to the 5 immortal sects, how much benefit can he get? Okay, I know you are a genius, so don't be complacent there. Let's find a place to live first. Seeing Zhang Yunfan's proud expression of I am a genius, Lin Su felt a little tired in his heart. Hee, you are just jealous, we don't have the same experience as you. Zhang Yunfan had a playful smile on his face, and Lin Su didn't bother to pay attention to him and walked towards an inn in the city. What? A low-grade spiritual stone can only live for 5 days. The consumption at the inn shocked Lin Su and the two of them. Although Lin Su had more than 100 low-grade spiritual stones in his storage bag, he couldn't bear to spend such money. After much thought, the two gave up the idea of staying in an inn and rented 2 cabins in Wangtian Ferry City for 1 year, spending Lin Su 60 yuan of low-grade spiritual stones. Zhang Yunfan found a job as a senior weapon refiner in a weapon refining workshop in the city. Every time he successfully refined a low-grade magic weapon, he could be rewarded with 2 low-grade spiritual stones. Of course, if it was useless, he would need to pay for the materials. But not to mention, as a Tianligan cultivator with Jinligan, his talent in refining is indeed extraordinary. After the first few failures, he quickly became a Taoist. He no longer has to rely on Lin Su. You must know that the huge stone dropped from the sky was not only he was crushed and seriously injured, and even the storage bag was crushed, and the spiritual stones and other things inside were completely destroyed. Lin Su didn't find any work, and continued his activity of reselling spiritual grass. With the mysterious spiritual field, there was nothing he could do to make money as quickly as this. Lin Su doesn't need to worry about cultivating spiritual grass. The spiritual field in his body will take care of it on its own. All his time is spent on improving his cultivation and practicing spells. It was only when Lin Su came to look at Tianxian city that he realized how confused he was during the years he spent in Ziyun sect, which also further revealed the gap between the 5 major immortal sects and ordinary small sects. In Wangtianxian city, Lin Su came into contact with the Dharma seal for the first time. The seal is a medium for releasing spells. It was also developed by the 5 major immortal sections by incorporating the seal into the Dantian. When releasing a spell, the true energy can be directly converted into spells through the seal. Both speed and power are faster than temporary pinching. Dynamic techniques are much faster and more powerful. Moreover, Lin Su also discovered that the seal is not just incorporated into the body. It must be practiced frequently. The more times you practice, the lines on the seal will slowly light up. When all the lines are lighted up, the spell can be released. Achieve the effect of doing whatever you want and thinking about it. However, different people have different efficiencies in igniting different seals. If they have corresponding spiritual roots, the efficiency of igniting seals with the same attribute will be much faster. The higher the spiritual root value, the faster the efficiency. If the attributes are different, the efficiency will be greatly reduced. Fellow Daoist Lin is here, is it still the same? That's right, it's still training ground no 3. There are places in Wangtian Immortal City that specialize in selling seals, and there are also places for immortal cultivators to practice spells. Lin Su often goes to Ali's Dharma seal shop to practice spells, and he becomes familiar with the shop owner after going back and forth. Lightning strike. Lightning strike. Lightning strike. Huh. I finally lit up the seal of this lightning strike technique. This spiritual root value has a really great impact on spell practice. For nearly half a year, Lin Su lit up 3 types of low-level magic seals of water and wood types, namely water invisibility technique, water arrow technique, hydrotherapy technique, entanglement technique, and vine technique. Armor technique and falling wood technique, but the thunder type only. I learned a lightning strike technique, and just now I was able to light up all the patterns of the seals. As for the other spells, they only put the seals into the body, and lit up very few patterns. There was only one royal magic skill. Wind technique lit up more than half of it. Rightward arrow. Looking at the sky, it was already close to noon. Lin Su did not continue practicing. After paying the venue fee, he walked towards the gate of Wangtian Xian City. In Wangtian Immortal City, there are many low-level immortal cultivators like Lin Su in the Qi refining period. In the past 6 months, Lin Su has also met some immortal cultivators. The eldest lady of the Li family seal shop where he has been practicing magic is Li Weiner. One of them. Li Weiner has invited Lin Su to hunt monsters in the sunset grassland outside Wangtian Fairy City several times, but Lin Su has been busy practicing magic and lighting the seal and has not agreed. Now that the magic practice has come to an end, it is not good to always work behind closed doors. It is also good to test it on monsters. When I arrived at the city gate, I saw Li Weiner and others from a distance. There were a total of 10 people, with different levels of cultivation. The lowest was in the 3rd level of Qi refining, and the highest was in the 8th level of Qi refining. Most of them were in the 5th or 6th level of Qi refining, and their strength was not bad. Let me introduce you, this is Lin Su, this time he will hunt monsters with us. When Li Weiner saw Lin Su appear, a smile broke out on her face. She had invited Lin Su 4 times, and this time he finally agreed. At the 6th level of Qi refining, his cultivation is not bad, but I don't know how strong he is. The leader was a yellow-robed cultivator at the 8th level of Qi refining, named Luo Jin. He glanced at Lin Su indifferently when he heard this. Lin Su, right? I'll be frank with you. Hunting monsters is not a joke. Monsters will not show mercy to you. I will not be responsible for any problems. Your life is your own, and I have never thought of asking others to be responsible. Lin Su replied indifferently. He never indulged people who felt good about themselves and never considered other people's feelings. The strength of the 8th level of Qi refining was indeed higher than his, but when it came to combat power, it was hard to say who was stronger. That would be the best. Luo Jin frowned and sneered. Lin Su simply looked away and ignored him. After waiting for a while, 2 or 3 people came one after another. A group of more than 10 people each blessed themselves with wind control technique and flew towards the sunset grassland. The sunset grassland is located next to the Demon Abyss Forest to the east of Wangtian Fairy City. It is a place where low-level monsters appear. The Qi refining immortal cultivators in Wangtian Fairy City will go to the sunset grassland to hunt from time to time, hunting low-level monsters in exchange for spiritual stones for cultivation. With the blessing of wind control technique, Lin Su and others' speed is almost the same as that of a galloping horse. Half an hour later, they arrived at the edge of the sunset grassland. I don't know whether it is good luck or bad luck. I didn't encounter a monster in the outer area of the sunset grassland for a whole day. At night, everyone sat around the campfire to discuss. This is not a solution. There are too many of us. Low-level monsters will definitely avoid us when they see so many people. If this goes on, our trip will be in vain. I suggest that we divide into 3 teams, act separately during the day, and gather here at night. Each team will distribute the proceeds by themselves, and others are not allowed to interfere. How about it? Luo Jin made a suggestion, and everyone nodded in agreement. That's right, we are here to hunt monsters and earn spirit stones, not to sightsee. I agree with Brother Luo's proposal. That's right, but how to group them? We have a total of 14 people now, 4 to 5 people in each group, free to group. As a result of the grouping, Luo Jin is obviously the most popular. As a newcomer, Lin Su's strength is unknown to everyone. Except for Li Weiner, No one is willing to be with him. Wanner, do you really want to be in the same group with this kid? No matter how you look at him, he doesn't look like someone you can rely on. The speaker is a female cultivator in the 4th level of Qi refining stage, named Lurualai, who is a good friend of Li Wanner. Li Wanner insisted on being in the same group with Lin Su, so she naturally had to join in, but she really didn't have much confidence in Lin Su. That's right, Wanner. This guy is obviously a rookie. Don't let him drag us down. This is one of Li Wanner's admirers, named Xianxia. He is at the 7th level of Qi refining stage, and ranks 3rd among the people who came with him. He feels a little jealous of Li Wanner's attention to Lin Su, and his words are also thorny. If you two don't want to, you don't have to come. Anyway, I believe in Brother Lin. Li Wanner has seen Lin Su's performance in the magic training field. She admires his hard work in training. In addition, Lin Su is calm and never boastful, which gives Li Wanner a different sense of reliability. Wanner, look at what you said, we are good sisters, where you are, I will be there, since you believe him, then I will believe it too. That's right, this sunset grassland is full of dangers, how can I abandon you, Wanner? Just take this kid with you, as long as he doesn't cause trouble. For Lurualai and Zhuangxian's suspicious eyes and words, Lin Su smiled and didn't explain much. Facts speak louder than words, he didn't need to say anything more to these two people. The next morning, each group acted separately. Lin Su and his 4 people were lucky. Not long after, they encountered a lone level 2 monster, the fiery rabbit. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 6. The Flame Demon Rabbit is a 2nd level and 3rd level demon beast, which is equivalent to a monk at the 5th or 6th level of the Qi refining stage. However, generally speaking, demon beasts are much more powerful than immortal cultivators of the same level, so Zhuangxian and others do not dare to be careless. I'll attack from the front, and you'll support me from the side. Is that okay? Zhuangxian was obviously asking Lin Su and the others, but his eyes were fixed on Lin Su. No problem, let's do it. The Flame Demon Rabbit had been eyeing a few people warily for a long time. When he saw Zhuangxian rushing forward, he immediately let out a scream, and his whole body was ignited with raging flames. The blazing heat scorched the surrounding grass that was half a man tall. Earththorn technique. A spike rose from under the belly of the Flame Demon Rabbit, but it was easily dodged by the Flame Demon Rabbit. The spell attacks from Li Wanner and Lurualai were also easily dodged by the Flame Demon Rabbit. No, this guy is too fast, we can't hit it at all. Not sure if he was too nervous or lost his mind, Lurualai actually shot a fireball technique at the Flame Demon Rabbit. As a result, the Flame Demon Rabbit swallowed it up without hesitation, and then opened his mouth and spat out a large fireball shot towards it. Ah! Lurualai was so frightened that her face turned pale. Seeing that the fireball was about to hit her, a water arrow accurately hit the fireball. The two offset each other and turned the fireball into nothingness. It was Lin Su who took action. Entanglement. While sending out water arrow technique, Lin Su also threw out an entangle technique, which hit the Flame Demon Rabbit. A vine immediately entangled the Flame Demon Rabbit, although it was quickly covered in flames by the Flame Demon Rabbit. It was burned out, but it still made his figure pause. It was during this moment of pause that Lin Su fired 2 more spell attacks, a water arrow, and a fallen tree that hit the Flame Demon Rabbit solidly, killing it. Brother Lin, thank you. Lurualai was in shock and thanked Lin Su with some embarrassment. Zhuangxian was also a little embarrassed. As soon as this expert made a move, he would know whether Lin Su's series of spells just now were fast and accurate. Compared to him, I don't know how clever I am, but I have to accept it even though I'm not angry. It's nothing, I just took action at the right time. Lin Su shook his head gently. Before the Dantian mutation occurred, the only thing he could do was precise control of spells. Now that he has an extra spiritual sense, he can naturally deal with mediocre second and third grade monsters like the Flame Demon Rabbit. Nothing difficult. Lin Su walked to the body of the Flame Demon Rabbit, turned it over and looked at it. At this moment, the Flame Demon Rabbit is dead, and the burning flames all over its body have been extinguished. There is only a small hole in the eye socket all over the body. It was caused by Lin Su's water arrow technique. The fur is quite intact, and it should be able to exchange for a lot of souls. Stone. The only fly in the ointment is that this flaming demon rabbit did not form a demon core. The demon core is the crystallization of the power in the demon beast's body. Monsters that can form a demon core basically have the potential to advance and upgrade. It is extremely rare among low-level demon beasts, and it is normal to not have it. I will put this body away first, and then divide it equally after it is replaced with spiritual stones. Lin Su waved his hand and put the body of the blazing demon rabbit into his storage bag and continued walking forward. Brother Li, you were so powerful just now. Those spells were fast and accurate, and they seemed to be issued at the same time, right? Have you ever split your consciousness? Li Weiner took a few steps to catch up with Lin Su and praised with some admiration. You have good vision. You are worthy of being the eldest lady of the Li's Dharma seal shop. I have indeed practiced the secret of splitting spiritual consciousness. Lin Su did not hide it. Although the spell of splitting consciousness is rare, it is not unique. Anyone with a little vision can see it. Not only Li Weiner, but also Lu Ruolai looked at Lin Su with brilliant eyes. Xianxia, who was a few steps behind, felt jealous and looked at Lin Su even more unkindly. Lin Su was also aware of Xianxia's hostile eyes, and he couldn't help but feel a little vigilant in his heart. Monsters are scary, but they are still no match for people's hearts. With such a person as a teammate who may stab him in the back at any time, no one is left behind. That would be too stupid. Next, Lin Su and the others encountered several low-level monsters and successfully killed them without much effort. Of course, Lin Su was the one who made the greatest contribution. Li Weiner and Lu Ruolai looked at him with increasingly different eyes. Of course, Xianxian's eyes became more and more malicious. Ouch! Seeing that it was getting late, Lin Su and the others were already preparing to return to the gathering place. Suddenly, a roar sounded, and a porcupine covered with spikes jumped out from the grass next to it. Its scarlet eyes were full of violence. As soon as he appeared, his whole body was shaken, and a large number of spikes with cold light were shot towards Lin Su and others. Not good. As soon as the spiked porcupine appeared, Lin Su felt that something was not good. Without saying a word, he blessed himself with wind control technique and vine armor technique. He stretched out his arms around Li Weiner's slender waist and swerved to the side. And go. Ah! A scream rang out, but Xianxia saw that he could not escape, so he grabbed Lu Ruolai and blocked him in front of him. Dozens of sharp thorns penetrated Lu Ruolai's body densely. Although he did not die immediately, he soon died. It was obvious that he had been seriously injured and had lost the ability to resist. Ruolai. Xianxia, you bastard! Li Weiner's eyes were about to burst, and she looked at Xianxia with murderous intent. Xianxia also knew that his performance just now had greatly offended Li Weiner, but compared with Li Weiner, his own life was more important. Lu Ruolai threw it towards Lin Su and the two of them, blessed himself with the wind control technique, and fled as fast as he could. The spiked porcupine is a second-level first-grade monster. It is a powerful monster equivalent to the 9th or 10th level monks in the Qi refining stage. If Lin Su and Li Weiner don't run away while Lin Su and Li Weiner attract the spiked porcupine's attention, their lives will be lost. Ruolai. Ruolai, you have to hold on. Xianxia, this bastard, I can't spare him. After catching the seriously injured Ruolai, Li Weiner anxiously helped him pull out the thorn to stop the bleeding, while constantly cursing Xianxia. If you can spare her, we won't wait until we escape this disaster. Hurry up and hide with her, and I'll deal with this beast. The spiked porcupine in front of him was a powerful monster equivalent to a monk at the 9th or 10th level of the Qi refining stage. Lin Su could not reach the 6th level of Qi refining stage, and Li Weiner and Lu Ruolai couldn't even hope for it. In this situation, Lin Su couldn't just abandon the two women and run away like Xianxia, right? Brother Lin, be careful. Li Weiner also knew that she and Lu Ruolai could not be of much help, so she blessed her body with wind control technique and retreated to the rear. Roar! Seeing that Li Weiner and the two were about to escape, the spiked porcupine became angry. The golden light flashed all over his body, and a golden spike that was much thicker than before was shot towards the backs of Li Weiner and Li Weiner. Looking at the power, if he was shot, it's definitely a transparent ending. When Lin Su pulled out the magical sword from his waist and struck it at the golden spikes. Martial arts were more effective in close combat. Lin Su bought this magical sword in Wangtian Fairy City just in case. Unexpectedly, now comes in handy. The golden spike was blocked, but Lin Su was knocked back several steps by a strong force before he could stabilize his figure. The light on the magic sword was extremely dim. If he blocked the magic sword twice at most, he would be in danger. Scraped, the second-grade first-grade monster is really powerful. Lin Su's behavior angered the spiked porcupine. The beast threw Li Weiner and Lu Ruolai aside and stared at Lin Su. Another thick golden spike shot towards Lin Su, a little faster than before. Lin Su only had time to block the magic knife in his hand in front of him. Dang! Crack! The spikes were blocked, but Lin Su's magic sword was also broken into two pieces, and his chest felt like being hit by a sledgehammer. It was indescribably uncomfortable, and he almost vomited blood. No, if we continue to defend passively like this, we will be done sooner or later. We can't let this beast attack again. With the attack power of the golden spikes, as long as he was hit once, even with the protection of vine armor technique, his life would be in danger. Lin Su could no longer hide his strength. With a wave of his hand, a purple thunder was generated out of thin air, blasting the spiked porcupine. Suddenly, the spiked porcupine trembled, and the golden light that had been lit suddenly dispersed. Low-level thunder spells are the fastest, and although they are relatively weak in power, there is no problem in interrupting the attack of the spiked porcupine. However, it is not an option to continue the stalemate like this. With the monster's strong body and adaptability, etc., if the spiked porcupine gradually adapts to the paralysis effect of lightning strike, Lin Su will be in trouble. Lightning strike. After interrupting the spiky porcupine's spell casting again, Lin Su took advantage of the spiky porcupine's brief paralysis to use a tangle technique to tightly tie up the spiky porcupine. Water archery. Water archery. The two consciousnesses released water arrow technique at the same time, shooting towards the spiked porcupine's eyes. Pook. Ho. A pitiful howl rang out, and the spiked porcupine was hit by water arrows in the eyes, rolling violently, and the vines originally wrapping it were instantly broken. Success. The spiked porcupine was blinded by Lin Su. It could only rely on its smell to judge Lin Su's position, and its attack was greatly reduced. Lin Su easily dodged it while constantly using water arrow technique and falling wood technique to slowly increase its attack power. After struggling with his injuries for half an hour, he finally fell to the ground with a bang and died. Phew. I'm exhausted. This beast is really difficult to deal with. Lin Su gasped and fell to the ground. He took out 2 Qi recovery pills from his storage bag to restore the lost real energy. Fortunately, his lightning strike technique seal had been fully lit, and he had the Thunder Spirit Root. The paralysis effect of lightning strike technique has been greatly enhanced, otherwise I might not be able to deal with this rough-skinned guy with terrible attack power. Brother Li, is this spiked porcupine dead? Li Weiner, who was far away, floated over with Lurualai in her arms, looked at the spiked porcupine lying on the ground like a hill, and asked with some fear. Well, he's dead. Fortunately, my lightning technique can restrain it, otherwise none of us would survive today. After recovering some of his true energy, Lin Su stood up and walked to the body of the spiked porcupine to examine it. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 7. After kicking the spiked porcupine several times, there was no response. It seemed that it was really dead. Lin Su turned his attention to Lurualai, who was unconscious in Li Weiner's arms. How is she? It's not life-threatening. I just treated him briefly, but he will definitely have to return to the city to recuperate. As Li Weiner spoke, a murderous intent appeared on her face again. Xianxia, that scumbag, I will never spare him. The spikes on Lurualai's body have been pulled out, and the bleeding has stopped. Fortunately, the spiked porcupine only attacked with ordinary spikes at first, instead of the thick golden spikes later. Otherwise, Lu Mengli would have returned to his soul long ago. It's hell. Hydrotherapy. After casting hydrotherapy on Lurualai to further control his injuries, Lin Su used the broken magic knife to slice open the back of the spiked porcupine. Anyway, this guy's fur was already badly damaged. Not worth a few spiritual stones. Lin Su wanted to remove the golden spikes from the back of the spiked porcupine. The spikes he shot before turned into spiritual power and disappeared after one blow. The real entity was on the back of the spiked porcupine. You don't have to think about it to know this thing is definitely a good material for refining weapons and should be very valuable. This is a demon core. After pulling out the golden spike, Lin Su found that something seemed to be shining in the hole on his back. When he took it out, he saw that it was a gold demon core. This is happening. Lin Su and Li Weiner knew what a second-level demonic beast's demonic core meant. It was worth at least 1,000 pieces of low-grade spiritual stones, enough to be worth all their gains this time. It looks like we can return to the city early, just in time to send Miss Lu to recover from her injuries. Lin Su shook the crystal core in his hand. I have 40%, and the remaining 60% belongs to you and Miss Lu. No, Brother Li, we didn't make any effort at all this time. These gains are all yours. Let's do this, 60% is mine and the remaining 40% is yours. Don't refuse anymore, we are a team. Besides, Miss Lu was seriously injured, so it's a little compensation. Lin Su's expression was firm, but Li Weiner didn't insist anymore. After thanking him, she took Lurualai and rushed to the agreed meeting point. You mean you encountered a second-grade and first-grade spiked porcupine, everyone else died, and you were the only one who escaped? Beside the bonfire at the gathering place, Xianxia narrated their experiences to everyone. Of course, in his narration, he became the wisest and most helpful person among the four. He was also the leader when they finally encountered the spiked porcupine. Everyone resisted vigorously, but finally chose to escape after being defeated. It's all the fault of that guy named Lin Su. If he hadn't helped, I could have at least saved one of Li Weiner or Lurualai. I have to say that you are so shameless that I am surprised. Lin Su's sarcastic voice came from behind. Xianxia turned his head in surprise. Lin Su hugged Lurualai and walked out of the grass with Li Weiner, sneering. Lin Su, Weiner, you guys. Surprised we're still alive, huh? Li Weiner sneered. Weiner is not qualified to be called a shameless villain like you. Using teammates as a shield, running away from the battlefield, coupled with malicious slander and shirking responsibility, I was really blind before, to be like you. People are friends. Xianxia's face changed several times, but in the end without saying a word, he suddenly raised his hand to bless himself with the wind control technique, turned around and ran away into the darkness. Kaka. A bolt of thunder was generated in the void without any warning, and hit Xianxia with lightning speed. The unsuspecting Xianxia screamed and fell forward to the ground. The forward momentum made him roll on the ground. It took several laps to stop, with black smoke coming out from all over the body, and the aroma of barbecue spreading. Hi! Everyone took a breath of cold air and followed the fluctuation of mana and turned their attention to Lin Su. The lightning strike technique just appeared without warning, fast, and the power was amazing. There is only one possibility to achieve such an effect. Lin Su has Lei Lingan. You want to escape, do you think you can escape? Since you dare to do it, you must be willing to pay the price. Lin Su's voice was not loud, but the murderous intention in it was clearly revealed. As he spoke, 2 water arrows took shape in front of him. You can't kill me. If you kill me, my uncle will definitely not spare you. Xianxia had a look of horror on his face, struggled to get up, and was about to continue running away. Lin Su, stop. Luo Jin on the side also spoke out to stop him, but Lin Su ignored him. With a flick of his finger, 2 water arrows shot out, instantly piercing Xianxia's heart and Dantian. Lin Su, do you dare to disobey the order? Lin Su ignored Luo Jin's obstruction and killed Xianxia brazenly. The cold and harsh method made everyone feel heartbroken. Luo Jin became furious and pointed at Lin Su and shouted loudly. Resisting the order? Huh? Luo, you take yourself too seriously, don't you? Are you qualified to order me? Xianxia is greedy for life and afraid of death. He almost killed her by using Luruolai to block the arrow, and he also confused right and wrong. Black and white maliciously hurt me, why shouldn't I take his life? If you want to avenge him, just tell him. Lin Su sneered and met Luo Jin's gaze without showing any signs of weakness. Okay. Very good. Lin Su, please remember, this matter is not over yet. Always here for you. Luo Jin's face was throbbing with veins, and he stared at Lin Su with resentful eyes for a long time. He still didn't dare to take action easily. He just squeezed out a sentence through his teeth in a solemn tone, then returned to sit down by the campfire. Although Luo Jin was proud, he was quite scheming. In his opinion, Lin Su was able to escape safely from the 2nd level 1st grade spiked porcupine with Li Wan'er and the other 2 girls. He must have been extraordinary, and it was unwise to act rashly. However, he still underestimated Lin Su. If he knew that Lin Su was not escaping, but killed the spiked porcupine alone, he would probably not have stopped him. Luo Jin was hesitant and did not take action. Lin Su was too lazy to pay attention to him. He walked to the body of Xianxia, took off the storage bag on his body, and casually flicked out a flame to turn his body into ashes, and turned back to sit next to Li Wan'er. Brother Li, you shouldn't have killed Xianxia in front of everyone just now. It was too reckless. Li Wan'er looked at Lin Su hesitantly, and after hesitating for a long time, she couldn't help but speak. Do you think Xianxia shouldn't die? He does deserve to die, but he shouldn't die at your hands, at least not in public. Li Wan'er's voice was filled with worry. Xianxia has an uncle named Zhuangfeng who is in the foundation building stage. He is a disciple of the 5 Elements sect among the 5 major immortal sections. I'm worried that he will cause trouble for you after knowing the news of Xianxia's death. A disciple of the 5 Elements sect in the foundation building stage. Lin Su frowned, it's indeed a bit troublesome. Private fighting is not allowed in the city, I just try to stay out of the city as little as possible. Private fighting is prohibited in Wangtian Ferry City. Even if Zhuangfeng knew about it, he would not dare to attack Lin Su in the city. Just be careful and stay out of Wangtian Ferry City as little as possible. But Li Wan'er was still a little worried. Lin Su waved his hand to interrupt her. Wan'er, Don't say anything, even if I knew that Xianxia had such a backer, I would not let him go. When the enemy comes, the general will fight, when the water comes, the earth will cover it, it is a blessing, not a disaster, and it is a disaster that cannot be avoided, just be careful in everything. After saying no more, she closed her eyes and practiced breathing. Li Wan'er sighed, looked at Luruali lying beside her in a coma, shook her head, and closed her eyes to meditate. As the night deepened, Lin Su, who was closing his eyes to regulate his breathing, suddenly felt a little uneasy. He suddenly opened his eyes and stood up, patting Li Wan'er on the shoulder. No, something is wrong. Li Wan'er opened her eyes and looked at Lin Su, who was facing a great enemy, in confusion. Just as she was about to ask, a scream rang out beside her, "There is a monster, help!" Ah! The crowd suddenly became agitated and gathered together in groups of 3 or 5. Perhaps because Lin Su had performed very strongly before, 2 cultivators of the 5th level of the Qi training stage also approached Lin Su. It's a level 2 monster, the Swift Wind Rat. After the initial panic, everyone stabilized their position and saw clearly the identity of the monster that was attacking. The individual strength of the Swift Wind Rat is not strong, at most equivalent to a cultivator of the 2nd level of the Qi training stage, but this is a kind of monster that lives in groups and has always been dispatched in groups. As the saying goes, ants bite elephants to death, and everyone is in trouble this time. My protective shield is about to break. A quick scan with his spiritual sense revealed that there were probably tens of thousands of the attacking wind demon rats. The protective shield of a cultivator in the Qi training stage had limited defensive capabilities and could not hold out for long under the continuous attacks of the wind demon rats. Thunder Blade Technique. Most low-level spells were single-target spells. In this case, even if the spells were cast quickly, they could not stop the wind demon rats that were rushing in groups. Lin Su decisively only blessed himself with wind control technique and vine armor technique, took out the only remaining magic sword from the storage bag, and killed the demon rats with martial arts. In terms of close combat, martial arts are more practical. Lin Su has never given up practicing martial arts. In the past 6 months, he has been practicing Thunder Blade technique diligently while practicing magic. He attached a trace of thunder essence to the sword, and danced it as fast as lightning. He could kill dozens of wind demon rats with one sword. The 1 or 2 demon rats that occasionally missed were blocked by rattan armor technique, and they couldn't even touch the protective air shield. For a while, Li Wan'er and the 2 monks who came over were a little bored. They stared at Lin Su's performance with wide eyes, and only attacked from time to kill a few fish that slipped through the net. Brother Lin is so amazing. This fighting power is much stronger than Brother Luo's. No wonder he was able to escape from a level 2, level 1 spiky porcupine. It's so amazing that he can use martial arts to this extent. The 2 cultivators were amazed. Li Wan'er sneered when she heard it. What do you mean by escape? That spiky porcupine was killed by Brother Lin a long time ago. Brother Lin killed it alone. What? Killing a level 2, level 1 monster that is equivalent to a cultivator of the 10th level of Qi training alone, isn't that too? Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 8. Li Wan'er and the others did not deliberately lower their voices when they talked. Everyone was greatly surprised when they heard it. Looking at the graceful figure that was flying around Li Wan'er and the others, their eyes were filled with awe. Killed the spiky porcupine alone? This kid is so strong. Luo Jin looked at Lin Su with a hint of jealousy. It seems that the place just now can't be recovered. It's better to tell his uncle Zhuang Feng about the death of Xian. No matter how powerful Lin Su is, he can't be the opponent of the foundation building cultivator. The attack power of the wind demon rat is only equivalent to that of a cultivator in the 2nd level of the Qi refining stage. Lin Su only needs to maintain the wind control technique and vine armor technique. The consumption of true essence is very small and can be completely recovered. The more he fights, the more handy he becomes. Others were not as relaxed as Lin Su. These immortal cultivators rarely practiced martial arts and spent most of their time earning spirit stones. The rest of the time they either improved their cultivation or practiced spells. When facing the enemy in battle, they basically relied on spells, and the recovery speed was not as fast as the consumption. Gradually, many people's protective shields could not be connected, and they were scratched by the wind demon rats, causing minor or serious injuries. We can't go on like this. There are still several hours before dawn. There are too many demon rats. If we continue to fight on our own, there may not be many people left by dawn. Lin Su had been paying attention to the situation on the battlefield. After killing another group of demon rats, he used his true energy and said in a deep voice, "Everyone come to my side. The injured sit down to recover, and the rest of you form a circle to resist the attack and take turns to rest." No one questioned Lin Su's words. Even Luo Jin just frowned and moved towards Lin Su as he said. They formed a circle. The injured and overconsumed sat down in the circle, took out spiritual stones and pills to replenish them in time, and the others resisted the attack of the demon rats on the periphery. Lin Su wandered outside the circle, and went to help wherever there was pressure, and finally stabilized the situation. Finally, 2 hours later, the first ray of sunlight fell on the ground, and the group of wind demon rats attacked for a while, and then retreated like a tide, leaving only the corpses of demon rats on the ground. Finally retreated. Except for Lin Su and a few people, the rest of the people were injured. Seeing the wind demon rats retreat, they sat down on the ground in a very ungraceful manner. It's so unlucky that we actually encountered a group of wind demon rats. This time, we really lost everything. A night of fighting almost exhausted everyone's spiritual stones and recovery pills. Now everyone's condition has dropped to the lowest point. Some people can't help but lament. It's good to be able to save your life. If it weren't for Brother Lin this time, I'm afraid few people here can hold on. Li Wan'er pursed her lips and looked at Lin Su with a brilliant look. After his reminder, everyone came to their senses and thanked Lin Su one after another. Lin Su and Li Wan'er had already decided to send Lu Ruolai back to the city to recuperate at dawn. The rest of the people didn't want to continue hunting. After a short rest, the group returned to the lookout Tianxian city together. After Lin Su sent Li Wan'er and the other two girls back to the Li Seal shop, he returned to the rented house. As soon as he entered the door, Zhang Yunfan followed him in. "Linzi, I heard that you were very powerful in this hunting. You were able to kill even a level 2, level 1 spiked porcupine, and you were able to enter the group of wind demon rats as if there was no one. It was amazing. But wasn't it too reckless for you to kill Xianxia in public? The news spread so quickly." Lin Su frowned. It seemed that someone deliberately spread the news that Xianxia died in his hands. It was probably Luo Jin. He was the only one who had a grudge against him among the crowd. Of course, it could not be ruled out that other people were causing trouble for him out of jealousy. I didn't know that guy had a backer at the time. Besides, even if I knew, I probably wouldn't let him go. Lin Su looked at Zhang Yunfan, who had a look of as expected. "Tell me, what are you doing here? You're not here just to say these few innocuous words, are you? He, otherwise why do we say we are good brothers? You know me." Zhang Yunfan rubbed his hands. "The spiky porcupine is a gold-attributed monster. The golden thorns on its back are the best material for making gold-attributed magic tools, so, I guessed that you were paying attention to the golden thorns." Lin Su rolled his eyes, took out the golden thorns from the storage bag, and threw them to Zhang Yunfan. "Be careful not to ruin it. By the way, if there are materials with thunder attributes, please keep an eye out for me. I want to refine a thunder-attributed sword." "Okay, wait for my good news." Zhang Yunfan put the golden thorns into the storage bag, agreed with a smile and left. After activating the room's protective ban, Lin Su began to count his gains from this hunting activity. The most valuable thing was of course the second-level first-grade gold demon core, as well as some low-level demon beast fur and organs. A rough calculation showed that he had made nearly 2,000 low-grade spirit stones. This hunting trip was really a big profit. Of course, Lin Su was not dazzled by this overnight wealth. This time, he was able to have such a big harvest, which was still a lot of luck. Apart from anything else, if Lin Su had not possessed the spirit root of thunder, and the seals of thunder strike were all lit up, he would have been defeated by the spiky porcupine long ago, and there would be no harvest. After counting the harvest, Lin Su did not rush to exchange for spirit stones, but put the gold demon core into the spirit field of Dantian, and crossed his legs to practice and condense his true essence. Now that the news about their hunting has been spread, it is best to avoid the limelight when the storm is at its peak. Moreover, after a whole night of fighting, Lin Su felt that he was on the verge of a breakthrough, so it was better to upgrade to let's talk about it at the 7th level of the Qi training period. 10 days later, Lin Su successfully advanced to the 7th level of the Qi training period. After finishing his retreat, he came to a grocery store and prepared to exchange the gold demon core and other demon beast materials for spiritual stones. Hey, why is the demon core missing? Lin Su was about to transfer the gold demon core from his Dantian to the storage bag, but found that the gold demon core was missing. After careful inspection, he found some residue in the hole where the spirit stone was placed. This is the remnant of the gold demon core. The demon core was absorbed by Ling Tian. Obviously, like the spirit stone, the gold demon core has also become the nourishment of the spirit field. The color of the seedlings in the center of the spirit field has also changed, with black, purple and golden light flashing from time to time on its surface. Black represents the water element, purple represents the thunder element, and gold represents the gold element. Could this spiritual field absorb the attributes of each element to form spiritual roots? So now I have extra golden spiritual roots. An almost absurd thought flashed through Lin Su's mind, and he felt his breathing become rapid. He couldn't wait to exchange the materials of low-level monsters into spiritual stones, bought a spiritual root detection jade slip, and left in a hurry, letting the shopkeeper of the grocery store who was about to have a good bargain with him was astonished and secretly delighted that he had gotten a big deal. Returning to the rented house, Lin Su activated the formation restriction, then typed the activation method into the spiritual root detection jade slip and placed his palm on it. Green, black, purple, gold, 40, 40, 30, 10. Sure enough, the test results showed that Lin Su had golden spiritual roots, and the total spiritual root value exceeded 100, and the spiritual root value of Lei Lingan had also increased. This is incredible. The maximum spiritual root value is only 100. This is a conclusion in the world of immortality. Since the advent of the spiritual root value detection method, there has never been a situation where the spiritual root value exceeds 100. Even if it reaches 100, it means that the spiritual root is full. It is extremely rare, but now, this conclusion has been broken with Lin Su. And all of this comes from the magical spiritual field in his Dantian and the mysterious seedlings in the spiritual field. After a long time, Lin Su gradually calmed down. His previous guess was correct. The spiritual field can absorb the spiritual energy and attributes in the spiritual stones and demon cores to form spiritual roots and increase the spiritual root value. However, currently, it seems that each system has the most spiritual roots. It can only reach 40, but that's amazing enough. This means that if Lin Su can get other demon cores with different attributes, or demon pills that are further than the demon core, he can have more spiritual roots, practice more spells, and become stronger. Of course, this also means that Lin Su needs to spend more time practicing spells and igniting the seals, and the speed of improving his cultivation will be greatly slowed down, but this is nothing. The lifespan of a cultivator will increase with the breakthrough of his cultivation. As long as you break through to the next stage before the life limit comes. After all, only by having enough strength can you go further on the path of immortality, which is full of thorns and dangers, and only by being able to save your life can you get more cultivation resources. Lu Ruolai's injuries had recovered, and as agreed before, Lin Su gave all the spirit stones exchanged for the monster materials to her and Li Weiner. Originally, Lu Ruolai didn't want it, but under Lin Su's insistence, he finally accepted it, and his gratitude to Lin Su deepened. In the days that followed, Lin Su returned to the life he had when he first arrived in Wangtian Fairy City, cultivating spiritual grass and selling it to earn spiritual stones, condensing true energy to improve his cultivation, and practicing spells at the Li Seal shop. One day a month later, Lin Su, who was practicing magic at the training ground, received a jade slip from Zhang Yunfan. Lindsay, I found the thunder materials you need, and I've helped you refine a magical sword. Do you want to see it? Come to the Songji weapon refining workshop in the east of the city to find me. Lin Su came to Songji weapon refining workshop and saw Zhang Yunfan with a proud look on his face. Each of them held two magical swords, one pure gold and the other purple gold. There is some left over from the big thorn you gave me, and I fused it with thunder-type materials. Strictly speaking, this is a magic weapon sword with both thunder and gold systems. Although it is a low-grade magic weapon, it is far from a mid-grade magic weapon. There's only a thin line between us, what do you think? Lin Su took the purple gold sword and looked at it. It was much stronger than the popular sword in his storage bag, and he now had more golden spiritual roots. Zhang Yunfan's decision to make his own this time just happened to be wrong, allowing him to perform better. Own strength. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 9. Another half a year passed, and Lin Su's cultivation level did not improve much, only reaching the 8th level of the Qi training period, but his spiritual roots increased a lot, and he had fire spiritual roots, earth spiritual roots, and wind spiritual roots. The original water spiritual roots also turned into ice spiritual roots because they absorbed the ice attribute demon core. Of course, corresponding to this, all the spiritual stones earned by Lin Su were used to collect demon cores of various attributes. The storage bag was clean and not much better than a pauper. Lin Su selected the most useful 2 or 3 low-level seals of each system and put them into his body to light up, which took Lin Su a lot of time, which was also the reason why his cultivation level did not improve much. In comparison, Zhang Yunfan's cultivation level improved much faster. He had reached the 10th level of the Qi training period. He only needed to take the foundation building pill to successfully advance. The cultivation speed of the cultivator with natural spiritual roots was indeed extremely fast. There are still 4 months before the 5 major immortal sects select disciples to rush to the tower. What Lin Su needs to do is to improve his cultivation in these 4 months and try to improve it to the state of great perfection in the Qi refining stage, or at least to the 9th level of the Qi refining stage. However, the later the cultivation is, the more difficult it is to improve. The amount of true essence required to improve from the 8th level to the 9th level of the Qi refining stage is almost twice that of the 7th to the 8th level, not to mention the 9th to the 10th level of great perfection. Let's go to Lingquan Valley to grab the Lingquan Cave. I heard that the best Lingquan Cave can increase the speed of cultivation by 5 times. Zhang Yunfan gave Lin Su an idea. All cultivators under the age of 20 are eligible to compete for the Lingquan Cave. Lin Su was stunned. Lingquan Cave? What is that? Zhang Yunfan slapped his forehead and looked at Lin Su with an expression that he couldn't bear to look at. Linzi, I have to say that you are really out of touch with the news. Apart from cultivation, can't you find out about the news around you? Lin Su touched his nose awkwardly. Since he came to Wangtian Fairy City, he has been busy with cultivation. Except for the last time he went out to hunt monsters, he basically went from renting a small house, the spiritual medicine shop, and the Li family seal shop. He really neglected to find out the news around him. Seeing Lin Su's embarrassed look, Zhang Yunfan stopped laughing and said seriously, "The Lingquan Cave Mansion is in the canyon south of Wangtian Fairy City. There are 9981 spiritual springs in total. The further you go, the higher the ranking of the spiritual springs, and the richer the spiritual energy they contain." "It sounds good, Yunfan, why don't you go and grab one?" Lin Su regretted it as soon as he said it. Zhang Yunfan, as a cultivator with heavenly spiritual roots, has a fast cultivation speed. Now he has reached the 10th level of qi refining. It is no longer possible to improve his cultivation by simply absorbing spiritual energy. The Lingquan Cave Mansion is useless to him. Not wanting to look at Zhang Yunfan's smug smirk, Lin Su turned and walked towards the city gate. Since he already knew that there was a good place like the Lingquan Cave Mansion, of course he had to hurry over and not waste any more time. The Lingquan Canyon should be in front. The Lingquan Canyon is not far from Wangtian Fairy City. Soon Lin Su sensed the change in the concentration of spiritual energy in front. Although he hadn't seen the canyon yet, he thought it was not far away. Just as he was about to speed up and rush over, a strong sense of crisis suddenly surged in his heart. Without time to think carefully, Lin Su kicked hard and fell sideways. Swish! A sharp earth thorn pierced out from the position where Lin Su was before without warning, brushing Lin Su's body and cutting his collar by a millimeter. Just a little bit, Lin Su became a cold corpse skewered on the earth thorn. "You reacted quickly and actually avoided it? You are the kid named Lin who killed Xianxia, right?" A slightly surprised voice came from above. Lin Su looked up and saw that in the air about 10 feet above the ground, a middle-aged monk in a plain green Taoist robe was floating on a flying sword with a yellow glow, staring at him like an eagle. Flying with a sword, he is a foundation-building monk. Judging from his appearance, he is somewhat similar to Xianxia who was killed by him. He is Xianxia's uncle Feng. "Yes, I am Lin Su. May I ask what you can do for me, senior?" Lin Su's expression remained unchanged, but his heart sank. He thought that after more than half a year, the impact of this incident had faded. Unexpectedly, the other party had already set his sights on him and was blocked as soon as he left Wangtian Fairy City. "Boy, you are so brave that you even dare to kill my nephew. If you fall into my hands today, I will make you wish you were dead or alive." Feng smiled coldly, his murderous aura was exposed. With a wave of his hand, the spirit sword under his feet turned into a cold light and shot towards Lin Su. Earth Wall Technique. He is really, as his name suggests, a madman, who attacked without saying a word, without the demeanor of a master in the foundation building period. Lin Su cursed in his heart, but he did not dare to be careless at all. He activated the spells he had prepared long ago, and an earth wall quickly rose in front of him. At the same time, he activated the water hiding technique and wind control technique. His figure disappeared in a flash, and he desperately fled to the Lingquan Valley in front of him. Boom! The earth wall was smashed to pieces by the spirit sword, but there was no trace of Lin Su behind the smashed earth wall. Feng was stunned. "Oh no, this kid knows the water hidden technique. The only invisible spell that a cultivator in the Qi training stage can cast is the water hidden technique. Only cultivators with water or ice spirit roots can cast it. To break it, apart from the fire eye, one can only rely on the powerful spiritual sense. Although Feng is a cultivator in the foundation building stage, he has not practiced the fire eye and can only rely on the powerful spiritual sense of the foundation building stage to sense the spiritual fluctuations around him. This kid runs so fast." Lin Su knew that there was a gap between himself and the monks in the foundation establishment stage. He couldn't escape by hiding. He might as well escape with all his strength and push his speed to the limit. When Zhuangfeng's consciousness sensed and locked onto his figure, he was no longer close to Lingquan Canyon. Half a mile away. "Boy, where are you going?" Zhuangfeng roared loudly, and the yellow light of the spiritual sword was strong. It shot towards Lin Su faster than before. In an instant, it came to Lin Su's back. The compelling edge made Lin Su's heart tremble. Vine Armor Technique. Unable to dodge, Lin Su cast Vine Armor Technique on his body and forcefully shifted his forward body a little to the left. Pook! Blood splashes flashed, and a large hole was opened in Lin Su's left shoulder, with bones visible. Lin Su resisted the excruciating pain and rushed into the Lingquan Canyon with all his strength. He spat out a mouthful of blood, rolled and fell to the ground. His vision went dark and he fainted. Damn it! This kid escaped in. But if he was hit by my flying sword, he probably wouldn't be able to survive. I'm taking advantage of this guy, he died so easily. Wangtian Immortal City has regulations that Lingquan Canyon is a training ground for low-level monks, and monks above the foundation building stage are not allowed to enter. Zhuangfeng could only look at Lin Su lying in the canyon from a distance, and turned around to wield his sword. Flying towards the Five Elements sect. Lin Su's sudden intrusion attracted the attention of the Qi training monks in the canyon, and more than a dozen monks gathered around the unconscious Lin Su. That sword light just now was from a Foundation establishment monk, right? Who is this guy? He actually provoked the pursuit of a Foundation establishment monk. I was hit by a sword from a monk in the Foundation building stage, but he didn't die and escaped into the canyon. This guy is very powerful. While he's unconscious, let's just kill him and divide everything in the storage bag, right? As soon as this proposal came out, a look of greed suddenly appeared in the eyes of all the monks. It is certainly not easy for a Qi training phase monk to escape from the hands of a master in the Foundation building phase, and there must be a lot of good things in his storage bag. The world of cultivating immortals has always been one of jungle, and it is very common to add insult to injury and take advantage. Just when everyone was about to kill the unconscious Lin Su, a woman's exclamation rang out, "Brother Lin!" A woman squeezed into the crowd. It was Lu Ruolai, who Lin Su had saved once, and beside her was a strong man with a square face. He was at the 6th level of Qi training, and he was the highest among the monks watching. "It's really Brother Lin. Brother, this is Brother Lin Sulin that I mentioned to you. Please save him." The injury on Lin Su's left shoulder was just a skin injury. The reason why he was unconscious was because of the sword energy that invaded his body. Lu Gang, the square-faced man who was also Lu Ruolai's brother, checked it out and frowned. Brother Lin has the sword energy of the monks in the Foundation building stage in his body. Ordinary Qi refining stage monks would have been torn into pieces. It's a miracle that Brother Lin can save his life. Lu Ruolai was anxious. Is it so serious? How should we help him? We can't help him, he can only rely on himself. Lu Gang shook his head, raised his head and glanced around sharply, but we can't let people with evil intentions take advantage of it. All the monks felt uncomfortable when they were glanced at by Lu Gang's dagger-like eyes, and walked away with a sly smile. Lin Su, who was in a coma, didn't know that he had already walked in front of the gate of hell. He only felt that a destructive earth attribute sword energy spread from the injured left shoulder to the body, attacking all the way to the Dantian, rushing into the green ball located in the middle of Dantian. That's right, a green ball. This was the first time that Lin Su's consciousness entered Dantian without showing his body in the spiritual field space, and he was able to see the entire situation of Dantian. His Dantian was the same as before, and there was not much change. It was just that there was a slowly rotating green ball in the middle of the Dantian, and all the true energy that should have been dispersed in the Dantian gathered towards the green ball and attacked. The sword energy in Dantian also disappeared into the green ball as if it was attracted. This round ball should be the magical spiritual field space. The sword energy was continuously sucked into the green ball, while a vital force continued to emit from the ball, nourishing and repairing Lin Su's meridians damaged by the sword energy. I don't know how long it took, but the sword energy that poured into his Dantian completely disappeared. Lin Su's consciousness was suddenly pulled closer to the green ball, and his body was revealed in the spiritual field space. The spiritual field space seems to have expanded a bit. Lin Su suddenly discovered that the area of the spiritual field had expanded a little, to about 1/10 the size. At the same time, the brown light in the light hovering above the seedlings in the center of the spiritual field seemed much brighter. Dantian has a little field. Author, The Magic Orb Zoo. Chapter 10. What a blessing in disguise. This spiritual field space can actually absorb alien energy to strengthen itself, which gave Lin Su an inexplicable surprise. Diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit, diamond suit. As the sword energy disappeared, Lin Su also regained control of his body and slowly opened his eyes. Brother Lin, you wake up. Lu Ruolai's voice of surprise rang out, and the immortal cultivators around him all turned their gazes over. He was so seriously injured, but he woke up in just 2 days? Miss Lu, it's you. How long have I been unconscious? It's been 2 days and you finally woke up. Before Lu Ruolai could speak, Lu Gang said with a smile, Brother Lin, you don't know how anxious this girl has been these past 2 days. Brother, what are you talking about? Lu Ruolai rolled her eyes at Lu Gang with an angry look, and quickly clarified to Lin Su, Brother Lin, this is my brother Lu Gang, don't take it seriously when he is joking. Elder brother. Lin Su looked at Lu Ruolai and then at Lu Gang. The looks of the two siblings were too different, right? Thank you Miss Lu and Brother Lu for saving your life. Standing up, Lin Su bowed solemnly to Lu Ruolai and Lu Gang. Brother Lin, you're welcome, we didn't do you any favors. You protected me for 2 days and didn't let others take advantage of me. This is the greatest help. Miss Lu and Brother Lu deserve this gift. Brother Lin, please don't say that. You saved my life and gave me so many spiritual stones. It's me who should say thank you. Okay. Stop thanking me so much. We are all friends, so don't fall into the trap. Lu Gang interrupted Lin Su and Lu Ruolai's mutual thanks. Brother Lin, how come you are hunted down by the foundation building monks? That's Xianxia's uncle, Zhuangfeng of the 5 Elements section. I was blocked by him on the road. Lin Su clenched his fists bitterly. It is not a gentleman to refuse to retaliate. After I enter the immortal sect and break through to the foundation building stage, sooner or later I will settle this account with him. Zhuangfeng? Is it him? No wonder. Nodding in understanding, Lu Gang suggested, Brother Lin, if you kill Zhuangxian, I'm afraid Zhuangfeng won't let you go easily. You'd better not leave this Lingquan Canyon. Monks above the foundation building stage cannot enter the Lingquan Canyon. As for Quan Canyon, as long as you stay in the canyon, Zhuangfeng can't do anything to you. Lin Su nodded when he heard this. He originally came to grab the Lingquan cave to practice, and he would not leave the Lingquan Canyon until Wangtian Immortal City began to attack the tower. After asking Lu Ruolai and his sister, Lin Su had some understanding of the snatching rules of Lingquan Cave. There are 99 and 81 Lingquan caves in the entire Lingquan Canyon. The deeper the caves go into the canyon, the higher the ranking and the more spiritual energy they have. The ownership of the cave abode is a challenge, with the lower ranked cave master challenging any higher ranked master. If the challenge is successful, the caves of both parties will be exchanged. If they fail, they will have to wait until 3 months before challenging again. Newcomers must first challenge the lowest ranked cave master and succeed before they can challenge a higher ranked cave master. Brother Lin, do you want to challenge now? In addition to the challenge rules, Lu Gang also had relevant information on the current cave masters, including spiritual root attributes, spells he was good at, combat styles, etc. After browsing through these information and keeping them in mind, Lin Su decided to challenge immediately. Lin Su hid his aura. Lu Ruolai and Lu Gang couldn't see his true cultivation level, so they couldn't help but feel a little worried. Even the number 81 Cave Mansion Master ranked at the bottom was a master at the 8th level of Qi training. Lin Su Shang just went to challenge him. Wouldn't it be too reckless? In this regard, Lin Su just smiled faintly. He knew his own strength. He did not dare to say that he could definitely defeat the top 10 palace masters who were at the 10th level of the Qi refining stage. At least he still had the ability to defeat the palace masters at the bottom. Grasp. Someone is going to challenge again. It's the guy who was chased by the foundation building monks 2 days ago. His name seems to be Lin Su. Lin Su? This name sounds familiar. I seem to have heard it somewhere. Where is it? Lin Su must be quite powerful if he can escape from the hands of the foundation building monks. It's going to be exciting now. News spread that Lin Su was going to challenge the master of palace number 81. The monks who had seen Lin Su enter the Lingquan Canyon started talking with interest and followed Lin Su to cave palace number 81. The owner of cave number 81 is named Luo Ping. Like Lin Su, he is at the 8th level of Qi training. He is good at using fire spells. His spiritual roots are unknown, but he must have fire spiritual roots. Lin Su followed the rules and entered the challenge into the challenge gate at the door. After a while, the door of Lingquan Cave opened and the owner of the palace, Luo Ping, came out. Boy, are you the one who wants to challenge me? Luo Ping glanced sideways at Lin Su, his voice full of impatience and contempt. Don't say I didn't give you a chance, it's too late for you to give up now. I will never show mercy to guys like you who overestimate your abilities. Luo Ping has the confidence to be proud. Although he is the 81st Palace Lord at the bottom, he has enjoyed this cave for 2 full years. In the past 2 years, the rankings of the Palace Lords have occasionally changed, but so far there is no newcomer who can squeeze Luo Ping out of the ranks of Palace Master. Now that I'm here, I haven't thought about giving up, but don't worry, I won't kill you. Lin Su smiled calmly, but this attitude aroused Luo Ping's anger. Arrogant boy, if you want to die, I will help you. Luo Ping waved his right hand, and 4 fire walls appeared out of thin air, sandwiching Lin Su in the middle. At the same time, a fireball quickly condensed in front of him. In a moment, it had condensed into the size of a wash basin. The terrifying heat contained in it made the people watching the battle around them feel palpitations. If they were hit, they would probably be burned to ashes, right? Just when the cultivators were wondering how Lin Su would deal with Luo Ping's attack, Lin Su moved. A white light flashed on his body, and a set of ice armor condensed in an instant. Then he went straight through the firewall and approached Luo Ping, punching Luo Ping's Dantian. Luo Ping never expected that Lin Su would actually launch an attack in this way. You know, the battles between cultivators are often about whose spells are more powerful and who can cast spells faster. Who would have thought that Lin Su would actually use ice armor technique to pass through the firewall and fight in close combat? Wow! Luo Ping was hit by Lin Su's punch, and he felt like he was hit by a chariot pulled by 10 horses. The true energy that released the fireball technique collapsed and a mouthful of blood spurted out. After a successful attack, Lin Su did not continue to attack, but immediately withdrew. The huge fireball that had already condensed and was about to be shot out exploded without the support and control of Luo Ping's true energy. Luo Ping, who had been hit by Lin Su's punch and vomited blood, was affected by the explosion and rolled out. His whole body was burnt. You. Luo Ping pointed at Lin Su tremblingly, his lips trembling, and the monks watching the battle around were stunned, staring at this shocking scene with wide eyes. It's over? Too fast, isn't it? Luo Ping was defeated by 1 punch. Isn't that ridiculous? Am I hallucinating? Simple, brutal, 1-hit kill. Lin Su's grasp of the timing of the battle is really strong. Lin Su is actually an ice spirit root cultivator. Luo Ping is so unlucky. He was completely defeated by Lin Su and was defeated before he could show his skills. After a brief shock, everyone started to discuss excitedly. Most of the eyes cast on Luo Ping were pity and gloating. Although in everyone's opinion, Luo Ping was defeated by Lin Su only because of the attribute restraint and carelessness. The Lingquan Cave Mansion in Lingquan Valley has always been controlled by the disciples of the major families in Wangtian Ferry City. The casual cultivators can only practice around Linghu Lake. It has been more than 2 years since the casual cultivators have been able to seize the Lingquan Cave Mansion. Although Lin Su's success in this challenge was due to luck in everyone's eyes, it greatly inspired people. In just a moment, the entire Lingquan Valley knew about the change of the owner of the number 81 Lingquan Cave Mansion. In the number 81 cave, Lin Su took a deep breath, feeling the spiritual energy that was much richer than that around the Linghu Lake, and bowed to Lu Gang. "Thank you, Brother Lu." Lin Su defeated Luo Ping and became the new number 81 Mansion Master. Naturally, a group of casual cultivators congratulated him and tried to get close to him. If it weren't for Lu Gang's rescue, Lin Su might not be able to get away now. "Brother Lin, you are too kind. I didn't help much." "Brother Lin, I didn't expect you to be so powerful." Luo Ping, who is at the 8th level of Qi refining, couldn't even take one of your moves. "Hey. It's so satisfying." Lin Su had hidden his aura before, but he couldn't hide his cultivation level when he started fighting. His cultivation level at the 8th level of Qi refining was undoubtedly revealed, which was no lower than Luo Ping's. Moreover, his ice spiritual root attribute, his grasp of the fighting opportunity and his physical strength far exceeding that of ordinary cultivators all made Lu Gang's eyes light up. For a long time, there has been a lack of people with sufficient talents and abilities among the casual cultivators. It can be said that they are a mess. The appearance of Lin Su gave Lu Gang hope. Perhaps Lin Su could become the leader of these casual cultivators, or someone they could rely on. Of course, whether Lin Su is suitable, Lu Gang feels that he needs to observe it again. Lu Gang and Lu Ruolai did not stay in the number 81 cave for long. After they said goodbye and left, Lin Su immediately began to absorb the spiritual energy in the cave to condense the true essence. The true essence here is twice as dense as that by the spiritual lake, which can greatly speed up the speed of improving his cultivation. According to the challenge rules of Lingquan Cave Mansion, the party that failed the challenge had to wait 3 months before challenging again, while the winning party only had to wait 10 days, but had to issue a challenge 1 day in advance. 10 days later, Lin Su opened the door of the cave mansion, sent a sound transmission jade slip to Lu Gang and his sister, and invited them to the cave mansion. "Brother Lin, are you going to challenge the 40th ranked mansion master?" After Lin Su told his plan, Lu Ruolai couldn't help but exclaimed, and Lu Gang also looked at Lin Su in astonishment. They didn't expect that Lin Su would challenge again so soon, and suddenly set his target on the 40th one.